Well, I got to thinking. I made one of these vids on the 11th. Now, today's 12th, so that was just yesterday. But I got to thinking after I uploaded it about what I had said about Washington and about what's going on back there. How, uh, since I believe in God, it seems like old Lucifer's got quite a hold on a lot of the people back there trying that are running things. Well, now that all got me to thinking back. Over the years, I have read John Locke, I have read Hobbes, I've read Rousseau, I've read the writings and talks of Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and Madison. Old, I've read a lot of things. And I got to thinking about that. I've never figured out in the Bible for sure what kind of a critter the Leviathan was supposed to be. Well, that John Locke and Rousseau and all of them, they all talked about natural law. Like the animals of God. Everybody's independent and it's their own. They got their they got their agency. Well, now that book Leviathan, that if you read it, is what we have developed in this country, and it is just the opposite of what we started out with. Now, it's an eternal law that man has agency, that he is an agent unto himself. He or she has the right to choose and the duty to choose in all things, which makes it pretty tough. But that was what the Constitution's based upon, is individual sovereignty, individual agency, individual liberty for each man, woman, and child. Now, there are a lot of things that have to be considered. If you get into that Leviathan by Hobbes, he eventually, the purpose of it was to say that government had to be absolute. It had to control, because the nature of man was something about he was always at war with everything around him. The only way they can control it was by the government having absolute power. Well, everything put together, them founding fathers, the people don't get it mixed up. They say Revolutionary War. Well, that's not correct. What it was a revolution of thought between the 1600s, 1700s, up to the Declaration of Independence. Then it was the war for independence, because the revolution of thought that went on put an end to the thought of divine right of kings, where the king had the right of everything. If somebody got married in the kingdom, that was the right of the first night to have take the virgin bride or whatever. There's a lot of things that are involved in that old stuff. But the divine right of kings was a false belief that God gave the kings the divine right. Well, that's not right, because mankind has always had his agency. Now, if you look at it, we have developed down if you look at the action, if you look at those things like the where the president, he writes out a deal and he signs it. It's a law. No, that's wrong. Because constitutionally speaking, the president can only, and the president's cabinet can only make regulations that enable them to enforce the laws properly that Congress passes. See, now there's a big problem there. We got all kinds. Well, I was reading something about a governor that signed some big deal about one of them writs. As soon as she got, it was a woman. I can't remember which one it was. I didn't pay much attention, but it was a writ. And as soon as she got took the oath of office, she made this thing and she signed it, and so it's going to become what we're doing. Well, that's not right. Can't do that. Not in the United States of America. See, all you people got the wrong idea. Them guys in District 7 in the state of Arizona, I don't want to know for sure where it is, that congressman that's elected out of there, that representative, is beholden to them people that live in District 7 that elected him to office. That's where we get in trouble with that two-party system. See, you got a Republican or a Democrat running for that office in that district. Well, the Republican Party or the Democratic Party gets that fellow elected. But that's not his constituency. That party is not his constituency. That is a mob type situation. You can go back, you can talk about Cosa Nostra, you can talk about the mobs in New York when them fathers was back there, Don Corleone or whoever, I don't know. You can talk about organized crime out of Kansas City. That's basically what we've developed with the Democratic and Republican parties. No, they shouldn't spend any money to get a certain person elected, nothing in that district. It should be the constituency, the people in that district that choose, vote for that representative. And when that representative gets in office and gets back to Washington, D.C., his is supposed to be for the state that he's from, and especially for that district he comes from. You see where we've gone? We got a Leviathan. We've got a totalitarian system in. Oh, it's quite well, it's almost hidden. It's hard to tell it. But we've developed from our free enterprise system of capitalism, which allowed for freedom of choice, that got all corrupted. We've allowed for it to come down and be what we've got. You know, I'm going to do some more thinking, but I'm changing my way of thinking. I'm not going to be so nice about it anymore, because I only kneel to God. I will never kneel to Washington, D.C., or to China, or to Mexico, or to Canada, or to Russia. I am an American. Antique, but I am a citizen. Talk to you later.